They have entered with everything, and even at a low price, the JVC Smart TVs with Android TV. But why are they so cheap? You can't miss this deep inspection. Enter, and we begin. And we start. I have wanted to make this video for a long time, because it is a response to hundreds of comments from subscribers, who want to buy a smart TV for this Christmas, but at a reasonable cost, and for that reason, I gave priority to this video. The new JVC Smart TVs, with Android TV, have entered with force, and above all at unbeatable prices. And I have verified this personally, in several commercial stores in my country, where they have been brought in by the ton. The big question people ask is it worth buying? Javi, do you recommend it to me? Honestly, to me, the cost, it's pretty suspicious. A 60-inch smart TV from other brands costs between $450 and $550, while a JVC Smart TV, that big, only costs $360, and even less, if you have the store's purchase card. A smart TV, and with certified Android TV, so cheap? But I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt, as long as you don't try it and see for yourself. That's why stay and watch the entire video, so you can see how I scrutinized it, like no one else has. JVC was a Japanese brand, founded in 1927, and which had always enjoyed good prestige, thanks to its two greatest technological developments. The first in 1960, since it was the first company to manufacture the first color television in Japan. And the second, and perhaps more remembered by the generation of the 80s, is that in 1976 he invented the VHS format, which prevailed over the Betamax format, from the giant Sony, and finally ended up defeating it, in that mythical war of the formats. So, it doesn't seem fair to ignore them, because JVC has a well-earned history, although it was later bought by Chinese companies, and giants such as LG and Samsung arrived with better technology, better designs, and they disappeared from the map for several years. Now JVC is trying to return to homes, and as most users like, at low prices. That's why I bought this smart TV, 55-inch JVC, for $330, model LT55KB607, with certified Android TV 9 operating system, digital tuner, and several interesting features for that price. And today I will give you my critical opinion of it, and not only the software, but also the hardware, I promise you. And my furry tech helper, Rick, will help me. I bought this television for a family member who did not have much of a budget, but wanted the most important functions of a smart TV. As always, Rick is the most excited to get his nose in here. He always helps me unpack, and take the trash to his place. Honestly, I don't know what I would do without this helper. The screen comes well protected, and isolated from the walls by means of inflated bags. Although to remove it, you need the help of another person. Now I will place the legs, which are made of hard aluminum and easy to install. Furthermore, it is better that they are at the ends, and not in the center, because it gives greater stability and distributes the weight of the smart TV better. Ready. Now it's second power on, since they turned it on in the store to test it, and we now have the Android TV interface, which we all know. But first, I will remove this plastic film that protects the screen, so you can see how good your image looks. And also, we have to log in with our Google account, to be able to use the Play Store. This smart TV leaves you with a regular purchasing feeling, especially because of its large screen. The side edges are made of low-quality black plastic, the legs are made of resistant aluminum, and a large back cover, all made of fragile plastic. Obviously it's not a premium finish, but for that price it's fine. As for connections, it has 4 HDMI ports, including one with ARC, 3 USB ports, 1100 megabit Ethernet port, 1 optical audio output and 1 antenna input for the digital tuner. The images look pretty good, but as with most smart TVs, there is no information on the technical specifications. Therefore, I will have to discover it myself. I have to admit that the operating system feels fluid and responds very well to control. I'm not speeding up the video or anything like that, and you can see that the navigation goes pretty quickly through all the options in the settings menu. The first thing I will do is review the version, and here we can see that it arrived with Android TV 9, with a patch and a kernel from July 2020. I was also able to observe that the configuration menu is not complete in terms of all the options, but it does have the main ones to have a good experience. But it does allow us to select image modes and adjust the brightness and contrasts to our needs, and the same with the sound, since it has a list of styles for each occasion, and other features such as surround sound and equalizer. These JVCs are certified by Google, and if we go to the Play Store, and then in Settings, there we can verify that it is indeed a certified device. If you are new here, subscribe to my channel, activate notifications and take a look at my content, because I have many well-explained videos. And if you want to know my recommendation about this smart TV, stay until the final tests, so you can make a better decision. But first I want to thank Lisette, a subscriber whom I helped with several tips for her smart TV, which she finally managed to solve. And she couldn't think of a better idea than to make Javi and Rick a doll version. Thanks Lisette, it honestly turned out more beautiful than the original, so any resemblance to reality is just pure coincidence. I used the Analytics application to measure the speed of its internal Wi-Fi card, and although I had some connection interruptions, because I am on the second floor and my router is on the first, I was very surprised that this smart TV took advantage of my entire contracted plan, 40 megabits, as you can see. Because no brand gives us precise information about its hardware, one way to find out is with the IDA64 application, which will show us the internal technical characteristics of this smart TV. Although after reviewing them a little, many of them seemed wrong to me, such as RAM, processor cores and resolution. At least, this is what this app reads to me. But knowing me, as you know me on this channel, do you think that with what an application tells me, I will stay calm? I do not believe it. And neither does Rick. That's why I'm going to convert my super desk into a super lab table to operate on the patient. Needless to say, this is a job for professionals, and you should never try to do it without preparation. I'm very sorry JVC, but I have to know your secrets, and so do people. The advantage is that the plastic lid is very easy to remove, and there are no stickers that I need to break. Therefore, I do not invalidate the warranty, because they will not notice that I opened it. And here you go, all the technology you are paying for, separated into its four most important blocks: the power card, the Wi-Fi card, the display controller and the processor motherboard. Although most of it is empty space, and cheap materials, at least they took care to put a good heatsink on the processor. And I really like that the speakers have their own small acoustic box, and include some small tweeters. We are going to continue looking, to see what specifications we find. For that, I have no choice but to remove the heatsink, to see what type of processor they put in it, even if that means removing the thermal paste. These 4 chips are what drive this smart TV, but I did my homework and looked for the codes. That's why I can say that these memories are 512 megabytes, and together they add up to 1 gigabyte of RAM for the smart TV, a storage memory of 8 gigabytes and a 4-core Cortex A53 processor, just mid-range. Even the processor of the Micool KM1 TV box is better, because it uses a 4-core Cortex A55 processor, which is more modern. It is time to return this card to its place, but it is important to reapply thermal paste. Otherwise the processor will burn. I will use professional thermal paste from my computer processor. After cleaning the heatsink, you just have to place it, adjust the locks and make sure it fits properly. With these real references, no seller will deceive you, my friend. They have seen what no one can see before choosing a smart TV, and that will not be shown to you by any other technology YouTuber, much less any smart TV brand. Now I understand why its price has reduced the costs in the construction of the internal finishes and the circuit board, since it is quite basic, and only has 4 processing chips. Even the card in my TV box KM1 has more power than that card. Therefore, do not detract from these little boxes, because they only lack the screen, to be a powerful smart TV. Be careful. But don't be discouraged, because that is not necessarily bad, since brands reduce costs in materials, without affecting the operation much to reach all users. The important thing is that you have a good user experience, and to see that, let's see how this JVC performs, with the quality of the images. The truth is that the quality of the images is quite good, with a well-balanced contrast. Also, good news for Movie Star Play followers, since on Android TV 9 it works perfectly well. The brightness and saturation of the colors are also a fairly positive factor of this screen. As it is certified, you can download any application from the Play Store and it will work perfectly. You can even download some games, but without abusing it, because its memory is limited, and you will only have 4 gigabytes free, apart from what Android uses. Also, I tested the sound and it is enough for a large room. And I also tried the voice control of the controller.
YouTube 4K.
And this is precisely what surprised me the most, because the 4K images are exquisite, and we can verify that they are in 4K by entering the YouTube player settings, where we will see that it is at the highest quality supported by the player, and for this smart TV. The colors are deep, and the details are very fine. Although the processor is mid-range, it is enough to handle this format, and it will be enough to have a good user experience. I think this is its highest point. First of all, I want to make it clear that no YouTuber can recommend a product 100%. None. And if he does, he lies to you, because not even the stores themselves do that, and that is why it exists, the guarantee. If the product were perfect, the guarantee would make no sense, right? Therefore, reviewing a product for me is a great responsibility, because I don't want to make you wrong. But for that price, this smart TV does have sufficient specifications for the non-advanced user, who likes streaming content at home. Personally, I would buy it. That's why I recommended it and bought it for a family member who had a low budget, because the economic risk is not very high either. Furthermore, in the stores I have seen that to date, they have had no complaints or returns. Finally, for me, these are the reasons why I would consider purchasing it. The first thing is the cost, because by buying it, you save from $150 to $200, compared to one from another more well-known brand. It has Android TV 9 certified, and Android TV is normally always stable, which makes all the applications in the Play Store work well. It has very good image quality, and it is 4K resolution. It has optical digital audio output, which is very important for home theater fans. And due to its low cost, these are the most limiting reasons for this smart TV. Very limited amount of RAM and storage memory. The processor is not one of the best, but thanks to its good heatsink, it will not heat up much, and it will be able to stream content. There is very little information on their JVC page, and I found no updates being developed. It does not have dual-band Wi-Fi, it only integrates 2.4 GHz Wi-Fi. Now everything is in your hands, and it is your decision. In a few days I will upload a more detailed video of how I am going to squeeze it out, with the best streaming applications and see if it supports the best Android games, so don't miss it. If you believe in my effort to give you good information, the best way to help me is by subscribing to my channel, giving me a like and sharing it with all your contacts, my friend. Don't let this information stay just between you and me. Help me, and let's democratize technology. Until the next video.